Hi, welcome to unpackingADHD.com. We're really glad you're here. We've put a lot of work into the site, and we hope that you find the material engaging, interesting, and useful. The first thing I want to say is that ADHD is real. It is a proven neurobiological syndrome that can manifest in distractibility, restlessness, and impulsivity. And my name is Don Baker. I live and practice here in the greater Seattle area, and I've been working with ADHD for the past 15 years in my practice. I also have dedicated my life the past 15 years to helping those that are otherwired, just like myself. When I was first diagnosed in the late 1990s, believe it or not, there wasn't a lot of information that adults, in fact, did live with ADHD. It was thought that we outgrew it. So when I was first diagnosed, I looked for resources and there wasn't anything available. So my practice grew out of the lack of resources that I didn't find. So the interesting thing about this is that everybody has a unique mix of traits. But in my experience, those of us that live with ADHD all share at least one thing in common, and that's that we feel different at some point in our lives. We can swing wildly between the sneaking suspicion that there's something special about us, and if we were dare to even say it, brilliant, and then the crushing weight of feeling like we just can't cope with life as other people seem to do. Sometimes it feels like we just don't get it. So the secret confusing difference is like an invisible suitcase, and many people wish they could just put it down. The thing you may not realize is ADHD isn't a disease, it's a difference, a uniqueness, and it comes with both challenges and gifts. The people I work with struggle with things like organization, time management, and moderating emotion, but they are some of the most smart, creative, intuitive, and interesting people around. So let me tell you about a few of the people I've worked with over the past 15 years. So there is the talented executive, a female at one of the local international nonprofit organizations. She's managed to hide her symptoms from everybody else, but she struggles with a fairly debilitating depression because she feels so isolated. Or there is the passionate entrepreneur who constantly comes up with great ideas, just amazing ideas, and actually brings these ideas to fruition often, but more often than not has difficulty following through on all the opportunities he creates. It's the opportunity that creates the overwhelming frustration. Or there is a great guy, an engineer who works wonders in his field at one of the top companies locally, and there are a whole bunch of them: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, F5, the list goes on and on. But this individual has a hard time keeping a job because rarely he has outbursts when he gets overwhelmed, and people just don't understand why. So in terms of ADHD treatment, these are the people in my mind that fall through the cracks. Their difficulties weren't recognized during childhood, so they learn to compensate, and they put tremendous amounts of energy into hiding their challenges. But they, like others, are at a pretty high risk for depression, addiction, health problems, and many other difficulties. They need help and support to come to terms with their own uniqueness, their own unique brain wiring. So I ask, if any of this sounds like you, I want you to know that there's hope. There's a lot of hope. A great, big, sparkling, radiating light that is not just at the end of the tunnel, but it's also inside of you. So when you really start unpacking ADHD, taking the time to look at what it means for you, to understand your own brand of brain chemistry, to begin to identify your specific triggers, to figure out what strategies and solutions work the best, honestly, you'll be amazed at how much your life can improve. I always tell people this: if I can do this, you can. You'll see that many of your challenges are also strengths if you're able to begin to reframe your perspective. You'll let go of shame as you begin to meet others on this journey who can respect and admire you. And it's just amazing how much freedom there is in that. And most of all, honestly, you'll start to believe in yourself and your ability to accomplish what it is you set out to do. You'll open that invisible suitcase wide, toss out as many of the negative messages as you've internalized, and repack it with a clear sense of who you are and what you need to thrive. Every journey begins with a single step. You know this. I encourage you to join us and come back different. Thanks.